Hi, David McLeod here, founder of The Magic of I Am. Thank you for joining me here today. One thing that has fascinated me over the years is the idea of psychic shadow. Now, people have been aware of the idea of shadow for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years, but it wasn't brought formally into mainstream awareness until the work of Carl Jung in the early 20th century. Jung came to believe that the shadow is basically the entire unconscious, both in the individual and in the collective. I personally don't agree with that assessment because I think there are plenty of things we do unconsciously that aren't controlled by the shadow. For example, when you learn to walk, you must first be very conscious of every step you take, but after a while, as you get used to the process, you are able to put the action on autopilot, so to speak, and leave it to your unconscious, which allows you then to do other things at the same time that you are walking. You know, the same sort of thing happens when you become accomplished at other things, such as riding a bike, playing tennis, or eating a meal, or playing guitar while singing. So I've come to view the shadow a little bit differently. As I see it, a shadow is any part, aspect, characteristic, or behavior within yourself that you disown, disavow, deny, hide, or repress because you think it's inappropriate, unacceptable, bad, or wrong. I think it's safe to say that we all have aspects of ourselves that we dislike, and so we try not to show those parts of ourselves in public. It may be that we learned at a very young age that to show such parts of ourselves resulted in being ridiculed, shunned, ostracized, or punished. And so we consciously chose to hide those parts in order to avoid the pain of being fully seen. We may have also taken on the belief that because we had such parts in the first place, there must have been something inherently wrong with us, that we must have been born broken or defective. Well, it may have made perfect sense to hide those parts of ourselves when we were young, as a way of keeping ourselves safe. But the problem is, over the course of time, a fairly short period of time actually, we forgot that we had put those parts of ourselves in the background. Now, shadow parts are very much like little children. They're perfectly innocent and wonderful when you are around to supervise them. But they become mischievous when you're not looking. It's like you put these smiling little angels to bed at night, but the moment you turn off the light and close the door, they are out of bed, sneaking out of the house and into the neighborhood, and they're creating all kinds of chaos and havoc out there. And of course, even though you are none the wiser, believing with all your heart that your kids are wonderful beings who can do no wrong whatsoever, all your neighbors know exactly who did the damage. In other words, even though you may think you are hiding those parts of yourself that you don't want the world to see, well, the truth is, everyone can see them but you. When I first started doing my own shadow healing work, I have to admit that I was pretty scared. After all, I had put so much energy into keeping those little imps hidden away from view that I didn't want to expose them and risk being seen in a way that had originally caused me pain as a child. I was afraid that people would actually hate me and not have anything more to do with me. But you know, a funny thing happened. As I took the risk to reveal those parts of myself, I noticed that people didn't run away from me as I feared, but instead they actually seemed to draw closer to me. Perhaps it was because they could relate to the issues that I was sharing. Perhaps it was just that by revealing the truth about myself, they felt inspired and empowered to do some of that same work. Whatever the reason, what I learned from that experience was that I could safely bring some light to my shadow parts. And that was where the real magic happened for me. You see, as I became more comfortable and accepting of those parts of myself that I had previously rejected, I learned to love them like the little immature children they really are. And I was able to begin channeling their amazing creative energy into activities that serve me rather than hindering me. So today, I now look for ways to uncover, illuminate, heal, and integrate as many shadow parts as I can find, because each new discovery helps me to see and experience even more of who I really am. No matter where you are on your journey, I encourage you to invite and welcome your shadow parts and practice loving them unconditionally. In this way, you will open the door to even deeper healing and growth. May your shadows bless you in every way.